Mm. What is this? This is absolutely crazy. It's early morning. You can even hear the birds chirping outside my window as we are awoken to a new Forbidden and Limited list on Master Duel. I don't usually do these, but this one is pretty significant, I would say. The expected changes are going to go into effect in 2 days, December 6th. And it's basically 6 cards being moved from either 0 or, in one case, 1 directly to 3. No experimentation, no testing, no phased approach, nothing. Okay? So we're going to be discussing that right now. And let's just start off by looking at these cards, because if you're only a Master Duel player, you might not be familiar with these cards, but also if you're a TCG players, some of these cards have been gone for a while. So let's start off. Nightmare Mermaid. Of course, most of these are going to be URs as well, moving from 0 to 3 directly. So the changes to like move these all to 3 is pretty wild. Like in some cases, like Dragoon, I guess it's fine. Diagram is strong. Mermaid, like most of these are going to be played at 1. But Masterpiece and yeah, I don't know. It requires 1 Nightmare monster. And if it's link summoned, you can discard a card and special summon a Nightmare monster from the deck. Then if it's co-link, you draw a card. Okay. Now, this has been used in the past to access Orcus combos, obviously, which are pretty fine in Master Duel. Also in the TCG right now, everything is like unlimited, except for this card specifically, which is definitely an Orcus card. But this has been used in the past to access Nightmare Corruptor Ibli, which is forbidden now in Master Duel. So how much damage can this card do? So essentially this is sort of like Fiendsmith Requiem, the link one from the Fiendsmith engine. It usually requires you to go from 2 monsters into Moon of the Closed Heaven and then into the Requiem. So essentially you go into any Nightmare monster and then you can discard a card on summon and special summon a Nightmare monster from the deck. Then you can link these two together. So it's going to be like Orcus Nightmare, link them into Galatea probably, and then Orcus Nightmare hits the graveyard. You can send a Harp and you can access your combo. Is this good into 2024, almost 2025? I would say no. I would say like all of these unbans are absolutely fine. Nightmare Goblin is another card that is also forbidden, I believe, both in the TCG and the OCG right now. It's a fiend. It requires 2 monsters with different names. And if it's link summon, during your turn, you can discard a card. You can draw if it's co-linked. But also during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 monster from your hand to a zone this card points to. So you can't even, like, you already need to have link set up in order to gain access, because the arrows are like SPL Night arrows, right? Neither player can target co-link monsters you control with card effects, which is also good. Now, an additional normal summon is not bad by any means. If you look at a deck like Chimera, it's benefiting right now heavily from a card called Doom, Duke of Demise in the OCG, which basically is a fusion monster that has an ignition effect similar to this to just get another normal summon. Is this what you really need? Like, have Link set up, then go into Goblin, basically waste 3 bodies on an additional normal summon? I've been saying this card can be unbanned like a while ago. Most of these, to be honest, they're not going to do a thing. We've seen that with Ib and Colossus. Protoss is not a good example. This is insane because the game, if you don't know, came out with restrictions already in place for cards that were banned or on the list. So when Master Duel came out, there was a ban list, and the game designers basically decided which cards to not even bring into the game. Dragoon was one of them, because Dragoon was up until very recently forbidden in the OCG, and it just came back to 1 in the last ban list. So this card is really good on paper, that is. Now with cards like Typhon, Talents, a lot of cards that just send without targeting, the Fiendsmith engine and stuff, This card is not as good as you think it is, even though it is indestructible and untargetable by card effect, and it can pop a monster non-targeting during your main phase, and it's an Omni Negate that if it's destroyed, it gains 1000 attack. This card on paper is one of the best cards ever printed, and this is why it was once a really good card using Verte Anaconda. Now, granted, Verte is legal in Master Duel, so are people gonna splash in Red Eyes Fusion, Red Eyes Black Dragon, and a Dark Magician? Do you think that's gonna be the case in Master Duel when you have decks like Snake Eyes? I would say no. People are not gonna play 3 bricks in their deck in order to just end on a Dragoon. I mean, think about like turning those 2 bodies at the end of your combo into a Dragoon. Let's turn them into Desiree in like a few months when Fiendsmith comes out in Master Duel. Like, this is why this card is fine in all formats. Masterpiece, maybe I would be a little bit more worried in the context of Master Duel, just because I'm not exactly sure like what's the situation on, like, I know there's been like a major hit on stun in the past few ban lists, but this card can tribute summon itself using continuous spells and traps as well as monsters, and it's unaffected by the cards that you tributed for its summon. So if you tribute spell and trap, 1 spell, 1 trap, then it's unaffected by spell and traps. It's 2950, sorry. So 3000 bodies, which are very prevalent, can get over it. It does have an effect, a quick effect, banish continuous trap or spell from your graveyard, target 1 card on the field, destroy it. It's a very good proactive way to get rid of the thing that is trying to destroy it. But still, like, you can put, like in today's Yu-Gi-Oh, you can push a lot into a card like this, even though this was, at least back in the day, backed up with a lot of floodgates and back row. But still, it just came back in the OCG. Ib, we saw do absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think it also went to 3 in the last Banlist in the TCG. Did absolutely nothing. It can do really cool combos. Maybe in Master Duel, given the fact that tuners and synchros are a bit more of a thing. Like, we lost arguably 2 of the best synchros in the game in the TCG in the last year. So you can use this, probably go into Baron really easily. I mean, I know some combos that do that. And then lastly, Dragonic Diagram was at 1. But obviously they want to push Draco Slayers, or True Dracos rather. It's a really good card. Once per turn, you can destroy another card you control or in your hand. And if you do, you add a True Draco or True King. It's once per turn, each turn. And the first time, each tribute summon True Draco or True King monsters would be destroyed by battle. It's not destroyed. So you pair this up with Masterpiece. And then you don't actually get over it. You need like a few bodies, like basically 3 bodies, just to get over it by battle. So this is going to be the list. How much it changes, I would say probably not that much. I think the monster that has the most potential to do some impact is probably Masterpiece, I would say. Like, people are going to probably experiment with that. Dragoon could be okay with Branded, even though it's like very hit. People are going to experiment with that, definitely. And then possibly like Nightmare Mermaid as well. Like Ib, people are going to combo, but it's not going to be like competitive and in the meta. So these cards are going to be generatable. It's going to be available in packs as well, starting when this goes into effect. Very interesting approach. I would say the TCG should take notes and unban all these cards. There are a lot more cards that could be unbanned. Leave them down in the comments below. I'm going to make a video about that. I was already planning on, I have a huge list of cards that could be unbanned. And then they drop this, so it just adds fuel to the fire. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and enjoy these fantastic banned cards. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.